Welcome back, y'all. I know we've been out of sight.
Out of sight, out of mind, dude.
Out of sight for a minute. I know y'all have been wondering, where have the boys been? Well, let me tell you, dude. We've been busy. Plotting and scheming. We've invented a new schedule for the podcast. And we've reinvented ourselves.
Rebranded.
That's right, dude.
Refinanced.
Uh-huh.
And regained.
That's right, dude.
Our control.
Refreshed. Our lease on life. Now let me break this down for y'all real quick. We used to record this podcast every Sunday. And we're done with that. And it's never going to do it. We're never going to do it again.
Yeah, Sundays are our days now.
That's right.
Our
and
fun
Mondays.
days.
And instead, what we're going to do is we're going to make this a post-gym podcast. Every Thursday, after the gym, and before work, we will be recording this podcast.
So we're bringing the energy.
We're bringing the energy.
We're bringing the gains.
We're bringing the gains. We're bringing the protein bar chewing, grape also chewing, water sipping vibes. And that's where we're at right now, guys. So welcome and apologies for the protein pack wrapping sound.
Sorry about all the eating and the drinking.
That's just the way it's going to be.
But we're replenishing.
That's right.
We have to replenish.
We are building our bodies. Let me turn this music off.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry about that, y'all.
Okay.
Here we are.
Let's talk about building our bodies, dude.
Let's talk about it.
Our bodies are built.
Frankly.
EYLT, like the pants that we are wearing.
Yeah.
Just kidding. We're not
Non-spawn.
wearing pants because we went to the gym with no pants on.
Pants are for losers.
Yeah, we're going to try this new schedule out, y'all. Thursday seemed to be a better day for both of us.
100%.
We're scheduled all day Monday.
Yep.
We both work Sunday now.
We're booked up.
So Thursdays are your days.
We're booked up and we're bricked up. I'm gonna tell you that.
I like that one. I like that one. You know, Sean, every time I see someone wear sunglasses indoors, I think, damn, they're going to be successful.
Who did that? Who? Who's wearing sunglasses inside?
It doesn't matter who. Just anytime I see anybody with sunglasses indoors.
No, I feel that.
And do you want to know why?
Why?
They're out here wearing sunglasses with no sun because their future's bright.
All right, well, that's exactly what I was going to say when you finish that sentence. So, I won't say it now. Future too bright, dude. Got to wear the shades.
Future too bright.
Shout out Chris D'Elia.
Shout out Future.
I don't like Future.
Okay. Fair enough, dude.
This is a personal opinion.
Yeah, that's fair. Future is
He just doesn't ever speak English.
Yeah, he does a lot of mumbling. There's only like 3 songs that I like.
Yeah, and they're
Future
all
is
Drake features.
really, really known for like being like a toxic man, though. You know his lyrics.
Yeah,
are like yeah, fuck that bitch.
Do you know I saw something interesting yesterday? Let me tell you about it.
Okay.
Yesterday I was on Instagram looking at a person's Instagram account. We won't have to say who.
Ooh.
And I mean, it wasn't even anybody I know. But I was looking at their story, and they had a post on their story that said, if you are for gangster rap, then you can't be for black. And then they said, basically they're saying that you can't support like gangster rap culture and simultaneously support black culture because gangster rap is harmful to black culture. This is a person of color that posted this.
Okay.
And I was like, bro, how have I never thought of that before?
Yeah.
But I think it has a lot of gravity to it.
Yeah. Well, as 2 non-black people on a comedy podcast,
We're not allowed to talk about it.
our opinions are
Meaningless.
They're almost meaningless.
Yeah, true.
And I used to have a lot of opinions on things like that.
Okay.
Until I realized that, again, my opinion really held no value.
Yeah.
Because
you can still have one, though.
Yeah, I still have an opinion. But I don't know if my opinion is right.
Well, nobody ever does.
Yeah. But it's interesting that you bring that up. Have you heard of Takeoff?
Yeah.
One of the
Migos?
One of the 3 Migos.
Uh-huh.
He unfortunately, R.I.P., passed away.
Mm-hmm.
He got shot and he got killed.
Yeah.
At the young, he's younger than you, Sean. He's 28 years old.
Damn.
And he got shot as a bystander to a dice game. Like there was an argument over a game of dice, which is, the game where you shoot dice and you put money on the line, whatever. And that argument turned into a shootout. And
kind of wild.
And that kind of brought up the same thoughts of like, why do rappers continue, like with all their success, with all the money that they make, and the whole goal for a lot of rappers is to make it out the hood. Why after they get the success, why are they still in that culture? Why do they not stray away from that culture, which ultimately leads them to being killed?
You know what else I heard? And I haven't verified this, but dependable sources have told me that the guy who was shooting that killed him was his own guy.
You talking about what is his name? Quavo?
I don't know.
Yeah,
but he was like apparently shooting at someone else, and Takeoff caught a straight bullet. Which is, I mean, not. It's worse.
That's gotta be the absolute worst thing ever. Like
terrible.
But yeah, it's I've heard a lot in the discussion that like gangster rap is putting down the image of
it's toxic.
African American. It's very toxic, and it stereotypes a lot. And I've held that opinion as well, because like when the mainstream media portrayal of you is like a dude with like 7 face tattoos talking about murdering people and killing people, then it leads to a bad image. Like it's almost hard to not do that. So so I think I agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Especially with all the shootings that are there's so many shootings happening in Houston, dude. Have you heard about it?
No.
People just keep getting shot.
That's unfortunate.
There was a shooting at the Galleria like not too long ago.
Oh, really?
There was a shooting at a nightclub in Dallas not too long ago. There's a shooting in Washington, like I want to say like a month or two ago.
Damn.
And people just keep getting shot. And it's very unfortunate, man. It's so sad to see.
Yeah. People shooting at another person because they disagree with them is just such a insane state of affairs.
Ben, why are you eating that leaf?
Sorry, y'all. Ben's eating one of our leaves. This is a good time to tune into the video portion of the podcast if you want to see Ben eat a leaf.
Are you killing my bamboo tree?
Ben, why are you doing that to that bamboo tree?
Would you consider that a tree? Bamboo plant? Bamboos are inherently trees, right?
I would probably say so. It's going to be a tree if you put it in a bigger pot.
Yeah. Ben, stop eating my
or
tree.
Into the ground.
And get away from me.
Yeah, Ben, you're not invited on this podcast.
Ben, I can't see my co-host.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, now they're
bullying his sister.
There you go. Now they're fucking each other up.
Fuck him up, April.
But yeah, what did you think when you saw that post?
I mean, I thought it's kind of crazy that I haven't ever really had that thought. And I've spent so much of my life listening to rap.
That thought has never like crossed your mind.
I mean, I've probably had thoughts like that in one form or another, but it's never been so like clearly stated in my head. And I read it and I was like, that's like tough to even argue with, honestly, when you really look at the big picture of everything. And it made me feel like probably like in the grand scheme of things, culturally, something's got to change. And it's not exclusive to like gangster rap or its effects on black people and black culture in general. I feel like this is an America thing to a large extent. And even beyond America. People got to stop driving with their egos, man. Like through life.
That really is, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Ego is the thing that probably killed a lot of those rappers. You know, people get in beefs over, certain things people say and how they feel. And the only way that they can express their anger, I guess, or feel that they have done justice is an eye for an eye type thing.
For sure.
Which is a very, very like prehistoric way of thinking.
Sure
if you boil it down to, like people were getting killed and beheaded and exiled, And everybody was like, yeah, that's normal. But I feel like we have evolved to see that, maybe there's better ways to doing this. Maybe we can communicate a little better.
Yeah.
Instead of just killing someone.
Yeah.
So
people just need to, it's not as simple as saying anyone needs to do anything, but I hope one of the results of terrible stuff like Takeoff dying and like the innumerable other times that things like that have happened, will hopefully start to result in everyone maybe like collectively doing a little self-check on what it is that we value and aggrandize with our praise and attention, and start moving away from being cool with behavior like that. But that doesn't just mean not being cool with people shooting people, because obviously nobody's cool with people shooting people. But all of the behavior that leads into somebody taking an action like that, all the like positive feedback that people in the limelight get about like uber egotistical behavior, it's like that. We gotta start not feeding into that so much. We gotta take away from all the factors that lead into people feeling cool about acting that way.
It's like barbaric gangster mentality.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
And this isn't exclusive to just black people. Because,
definitely not.
There's the Italian mobsters from way back then. Yeah. There's the Yakuza. I mean, there's gangs in every race, and all of them have their issues, and all of them have a sort of lifestyle that is almost like instilled into them. For sure. At such a young age.
Yeah. I mean, so it's from really, birth, because it feeds off like some of the worst aspects of human nature, I feel like.
And it's really hard to rewire someone's thinking, especially if they have been in the hood or grown up in an environment where that was like almost normal.
For sure.
And I don't really know if we'll ever come to a point as like humanity where that's like over, just because that's like so many thousands of people who need to be put in a brand new environment. Like that's just the logistics of it all is so difficult.
Yeah. It's a very slow process.
Yeah. But I think
it's a generational process.
But I think we could definitely take steps in like our portrayal of it and how we like scrutinize it in the media.
Yeah. And we gotta like the public in general has to stop supporting people who act like this, or who like don't even necessarily act like this themselves, but glorify that type of behavior.
Yeah, like 6ix9ine.
Yeah,
that's a good example.
I mean, almost every mumble rapper has to go. Drake has to go.
Drake has to go.
Drake has to go, bro.
But Drake is a nice Canadian boy.
First off, Drake killed XXXTentacion. Let us not forget that. I mean, it's canon in my head. I don't know if it's actually the case, but he said in a song he was going to kill him, and then he died shortly thereafter. Yeah,
that's a crazy coincidence. But the thing is...
yeah, isn't it?
But the thing is, there's obviously like, people like that obviously have hitmen or like people who will do things.
Sure.
Because obviously like the leader's not going to...
Yeah, Drake's not going to shoot him. Although he might.
But do you think like Drake sent out a hit?
Realistically, impossible to think or know. And I never followed that situation very closely, honestly, but I wouldn't be shocked if it came out that he did. Because, like, I think a lot of times people hear musicians... I guess it is a lot of musicians. It's pretty centered around the musical world because it's kind of unique in how... most other artists are making things that are not about them, but music, and especially like hip hop, is really centered around storytelling from the artist's perspective. And it's usually like first person, like I think you might introduce someone to hip hop for the first time and they listen to some of it, especially like the gangster rap variety. And they're like, oh, this guy is just like playing it's almost like
it's playing a character.
It's a fictional character. And it should be, And if it was only that, and that was clearly stated, I think it would be way less problematic. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the artists themselves even are forgetting that it's just supposed to be a fictional role. Mm-hmm. They get so caught up in this character. Either it's a character that they've created, or maybe even it is really who they are because they come from that background that they're saying they came from. And they don't ever make that disconnect that I don't like, this isn't the way I want to or should continue to be. Which is very easy when you're like super rich and being praised for everything that you're saying and doing. And it all looks super like quote unquote cool to be that way. And then the listeners also over time either forget or never even made the connection that it was just a character to be played. And it all just gets fucking so wishy-washy, and then you end up having musical artists out here actually killing each other for nothing. For nothing.
For like almost like validity.
Yeah, because they can't.
Yeah, I think they
because their egos are not being checked.
I think they get a lot of pressure from like people who listen to their music, and they're like, "Oh, like you're not really about that life." Like, there's such a culture, especially in like rap and hip hop, of like the old heads, the quote unquote old heads, who are like, "Y'all rapping about this, but y'all really are not about that life."
Yeah,
you know, like that's such a common thing to hear. Like, y'all are out here like rapping in your $1 billion cars, but you're not really going through the struggle like some of us on the street. Blah blah blah. And I'm sure like they hear that, and they almost like feel like they have something to prove.
Yeah, because their egos are unchecked.
They're like, "Oh, whereas you don't think I'm real? You don't think I'm hard? Let me show you something." And they like kill someone,
and they ruin everything.
And it's like, why would
and
you?
And instead, they should have been like, "Yeah, obviously, I'm not about it. This is this is entertainment. I live in Beverly Hills. Like, why would I
live in River Oaks?
Yeah, exactly.
You think I'm out here in the 3rd Ward,
but that doesn't sound cool.
No, no, that's not the cool thing.
So, yeah, I think it's a cultural thing, or I guess it's obviously a cultural thing, and I'm noticing that more keenly now.
Have you ever heard of the rapper TK?
Nope.
He's like a one-hit wonder type rapper. He had this song that he put out that you might recognize. You might have heard it in passing. It's called The Race. And it's literally a song that he made about getting away with murder and like fleeing from the cops and getting away with it. And eventually I forget what happened. I think he was on like Facebook Live or something. He was on some video, but he like killed someone in plain daylight, and now he's in prison. And there are people in this world who are like, free TK, hashtag. And it's like, you're part of the,
yeah, y'all are the problem.
Y'all are the problem. Y'all are advocating and supporting a murderer.
Yeah.
Because he made a song.
That's probably not even that good.
Oh, it's okay. Just kidding. It's not great. It's catchy.
Yeah.
But funny thing about him, he ended up going to prison, and he lived in Arlington, which is like not far from Fort Worth, and he's in the Fort Worth federal prison right now. So, if you want to visit him, we can have him on the
swing
podcast.
On up there. Yeah. I bet he would be on the podcast.
That would be a weird podcast.
Anything beats being in prison.
That would be a weird podcast. Imagine us two and TK.
And we're just like, all right, TK, I'm about to play this song, and then we're going to get really hyped and just don't say anything for a minute.
And then explain everything you mean in this song.
And he's like, well, first, before we even get to the podcast, he's going to be like, y'all are gay. 6-inch kings? No, I'm not going to be on this podcast. And we're going to be like, check your ego, dude. Come on.
Come on, dude.
Come be on the podcast.
We're giving you an out.
You tell me you can't appreciate a dick joke?
Community service. Come on.
Yeah, come on, dude. So anyway, I didn't mean to just projectile us directly into deep social commentary, but it was an interesting post, and I have been thinking about it quite a bit this morning. So
that's right, dude. I love deep social commentary.
Me too.
More of the world should be in deep social commentary.
Yeah.
If there's nothing we can do about anything, we can always talk about it.
Yeah. Talking about it is how you do stuff about stuff sometimes.
Yeah. Or it's bringing awareness, shifting perspectives.
Yeah.
Touching people's lives.
100%.
That's what we do on the 6-Inch Kings podcast, dude.
That's right.
That's all that we're about.
So, What's been up with you, man? What you been up to?
Oh, dude. When was the last time we recorded this podcast?
Like 3 weeks ago.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it really has.
We've done coffee with Joy.
Yeah.
That's been a good highlight of my week.
Been wonderful.
Literally, Sean, every time it happens, like an hour before, I'm always like, I don't want to do it. And then we always do it. And I'm always like, this is great.
Yeah.
I love seeing Joy.
Of course.
It's nice to catch up with her.
You have to fight that urge.
I know.
To not do it.
It's such a weird urge, though.
It's not that weird. It's like a social, not anxiety, but social laziness.
Yeah.
I get that too.
But that's about it.
Hell yeah.
Been going to the gym.
Started
running.
You started running.
Started reading.
What you been reading?
Ever heard of this book, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius?
Meditations by Marcus Aurelius? What is that?
Gonna be my autobiography.
Well,
at this point.
I mean, it can't be because it's already someone else's.
I know, but I'm gonna live vicariously through him.
As you should.
And I'm gonna be the king of Rome.
He was a general in the Roman army.
I think he ended up being king.
I have never heard that one.
Was he an emperor? No, general?
General.
I swear he was something more than that.
I don't think he was.
A general? How did he not
he was
die
also
in combat?
he was the star of Gladiator, the movie.
That's not historically accurate.
Well, yeah, it's Russell Crowe playing Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah.
But he did a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm. But Meditations is it's kind of like an autobiography almost. The interesting thing about the book is he was this guy in ancient Rome.
Mm-hmm.
Swear he was like a king or something. Maybe
he was
wasn't
a general.
Was he a general?
General Marcus Aurelius. Let me fact check
you.
Let's fact check this very quickly.
But regardless, he was this very high prominent person, very wealthy, I guess, at least for the time, and had a lot of respect and had a lot of admiration, and had a great attitude on life. Some would call him a philosopher.
Okay, my bad. He was the emperor. Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah, he was the whole emperor, dude. He was in charge of the whole thing, which is the craziest thing. He was an emperor of a whole entire country.
Wait, are you telling me Marcus Aurelius was not even a general in the Roman army?
I don't think so.
Bro.
I would have thought he would have probably died.
Did I just get that from fucking Gladiator?
I told you it's not historically accurate.
Dog. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
But essentially he wrote down, like, he had his own like little journal or diary, as you could say, and he wrote down his thoughts, and like, he wrote down what he was thankful for. Like he just wrote in a journal, and then he died, and then like years later they found all his like journal entries, like a couple of his like students, and they held on to him for a long time, and then another like several years had passed before somebody was like, we need to write this down as a book.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like documentation of a man, a very prominent man with such a outstanding standing in society, and just all his thoughts on the world and life and how we should behave. And yeah, it's been a good read so far. I think it's a really good like template for like how to live a good life, or like things you can do to better your life. And I've had a good time reading it.
Dude, I'm so dumb. Marcus Aurelius isn't even in Gladiator.
No, he is.
No, the main character's name is Maximus Meridius.
No, but there's a character depiction of Marcus Aurelius. I don't think he's like the main character. I think he gets killed off sometime in the beginning. Or
you're right. You're right.
He's in it.
He's the emperor. He appoints Maximus to be his successor, and then he's murdered by his son before that wish can be fulfilled. And his son is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay, we should watch Gladiator sometime.
We should.
That's a great movie,
Great
bro.
movie.
Great movie.
We need to watch more like manly movies.
Yeah,
like
The Matrix.
Well, we could watch The Matrix.
Nah.
We should actually put The Matrix on.
Yeah, we should. I mean, it's a great movie.
I think it's good for my pop culture references.
100%.
Yeah.
I make like one Matrix reference a day.
Yeah, and I never get
You
them. They
never
fly
get
by
them.
my head.
It really
I
ruins
just
my
look
day.
at you while you say them, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
And you're like, I'm like, you don't fucking know.
But yeah, so I've been trying to get everybody to read Meditation.
Yeah, you have mentioned it quite a bit.
Trying to get you to read it.
Mm-hmm.
Gigi, I mentioned it to Vinny.
Do you find it to be easy reading?
It's such an easy read because it's not like in book format. It's a lot of just like...
It's like a collection of shorter writings.
Yeah, and they're all like thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all just like observations.
Interesting.
So yeah, and it's a very small book. It's probably like 100 pages, and they're not even like full pages. They get broken up into different paragraphs, and the translation that I have is really easy to read and understand. I have heard that some of the older translations, sometimes you're reading it and you're like, what the fuck?
It's a little more challenging.
Did they just say? But the one that I picked up so happens to be very digestible.
Nice.
And nice. So
picking up a lot of little leadership tidbits in there.
Leadership tidbits, just like, it just helps you. It helps you get in a good frame of mind, like of how the world works and how people work, and not to be so hard on yourself when people say mean things to you or something. One of the big things he says is always recognize that when people come to you in like anger or frustration, it's never really about you. It's more so what they're going through. So it helps you kind of just recognize little things like that.
Interesting. I like that.
Yeah, I do too. It's helped me a lot. I mean, I've read, there's 12 books or 12 paragraphs, I guess, and I've gone through half of them.
Okay. Wow.
And I'm really reading them like diligently. Like the first 3 books I read, and then I went back and I read again, and I highlighted the points that I really did. So just taking a little bit more diligence with it, because it's not like a book that you need to follow along and there's like a plot and everything. Yeah, it's just a lot of like little phrases and sayings of like, oh, okay, that's a good thing to think about.
Nice.
So very easy read. Highly recommend. I saw a TikTok that was like, this is a great book for people getting into like books like this, and it'll help your framework in society.
Yeah, it's a very critically acclaimed book. It's one of those like perennial top sellers. Hi, April.
Yeah. Trying to be a high value man.
Yeah.
In the low value society.
Well, okay. That's
another social commentary. We need to stop social commentary right now, dude.
Okay. I can't believe I thought Marcus Aurelius was a general and that he was the main character of fucking Gladiator.
I can't believe you thought that either.
So uneducated. Yeah. It boggles my mind that I even survive out here. Not even knowing who Marcus Aurelius is. How embarrassing.
He's an emperor, dude.
Emperor Marcus Aurelius.
Emperor/philosopher.
It's a cool name.
Sorry, I was taking a deep breath.
That's okay. It's good to every now and then.
Mm-hmm. Got my pooch out.
Dude, I did some deep breathing last night.
Yeah?
I went on a little run.
Some meditation?
Nah, not really. Because I was running and listening to a podcast.
What do you listen to when you run?
Usually technology podcasts. If there's one to listen to. And there usually is.
Man, I've never got into technology podcasts.
Oh, God, it's all I listen to. Every now and then a comedy podcast, but usually... Oh. Pardon me, April. That's my microphone.
April, get your tail.
Don't use your tail to pull the microphone away from my mouth, dude. It's very inconsiderate. You're not even going to say anything into it. And also stop clawing my leg, you bitch.
How did your run go?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't run the whole thing.
Good.
I was doing like I went into the neighborhood across the street. And I would like run down a block, and then on the little stretch between streets, I would walk. Mm-hmm. So I did a total of like 1.4 miles, just to make sure I had a solid mile accumulative all running, and it was nice.
Yeah.
I was trying to focus on not running fast and just like being at a at a pace that I could maintain for ever or as long as I wanted to.
Like a nice elevated heart rate pace.
Yeah. And after I finished the run and I looked back on the data, I didn't do very well with that.
Okay.
I was like at 180 beats per minute.
Oh, Jesus.
Basically all the time that I was running.
That's crazy. That's super high.
It's just, bro, that's where I'm at. My heart rate elevates very quickly.
Okay.
And so I'm going to really focus on just dialing back my speed until I can find whatever it feels like to run at like 130, 140 beats per minute, which is probably just like a fast walk right now for me. But that's fine. And then I'll just progress from there.
Yeah. I was going to say the more you run, though, the more leveled out you're going to be. Your body's probably like, we haven't done this in years. What are you doing?
Exactly.
That's how I felt on my first run. I run until I'm tired, and then I walk until I am back to normal, and then I run again.
Yeah.
And the first instance where I ran, I swear to God, it was like 2 minutes before I was like, okay, we gotta slow down.
Yeah.
What are we
I'm having a heart attack. Yeah.
But then the second run, I already felt like, I think my first run went for like 5 or 6 minutes straight.
Okay.
And then that's when I started to fatigue and tire down. So I was like, okay, we're improving.
I mean, that's pretty long to run. Like when you don't run.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to get into a pretty good like aerobic shape to where I can like run a whole 3 miles straight without stopping. That's like the goal for now. And then maybe run a 5K with you. And then, if nothing else is happening, just continue to progress there.
Yeah.
The idea of running a marathon to me sounds so fulfilling and cool.
Yeah, it's cool to say you did it.
Like people who run marathons are like in the top 1% of humankind. Like not a lot of people run marathons, you know?
Yeah, true.
So,
bro, do you know?
I think my end goal is to hopefully maybe finish a marathon, but I understand that it's like a long way away.
Yeah, you could do it though.
Yeah, and I do have to dedicate a lot more time into running. But I don't know, man. I look at people who run marathons and I'm like, I just want to get to that point.
Yeah, you could
it's
do
more
it.
like proving to myself.
You could get to that in less than a year.
Yeah.
If you were really about it.
If I stopped like, if I cut like my gym time in half and instead of going to the gym, I did like runs, I could. But if like right now I'm just doing once a week.
Yeah, but your gym time is already so like low relatively. You don't spend a lot of time in the gym.
No, I know. But instead of going to the gym, I would run.
Why don't you just do both?
That seems like a lot. After the gym, I don't want to do anything.
So run before the gym.
I lose my gains. Or there's no point in running after, like, there's not no point, but the saying or how it goes is if you run and then you lift weights, it's almost like not worth it because you're so fatigued that you're not really getting a good workout in. That's why people never run before their workout. They work out and then they run.
So you just put some time between them.
Put some time.
Run in the morning, then hang out for a little bit, have a little food, and then eventually you go to the gym.
We could think about it.
Yeah.
I'll think about it.
Give it some thought. Watch Alan Thrall's video about it.
I'll think about it.
Alan Thrall had a good video about it, and he's jacked.
Does he run?
He's running, yeah.
How much does he run?
A lot. Probably not marathons yet, but I mean, in a past life, he was in the Marine Corps, so.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So running is, he probably runs a lot.
Yeah. He's had years of training, though.
Yeah. But I think he didn't run. I know he didn't run for years and years when he was building his base of being jacked because he also was under the impression that running kills gains, but he now has changed his viewpoint on it and is not proselytizing, but just encouraging people that if they want to get into running, don't let the fear of losing gains be what stops you because it's not nearly as...
Yeah, I think what's stopping me is like the nutritional aspect because when I run, I need to eat. Like, I can go to the gym and I can get away with like having like a high protein meal, but when you run, you need like a lot of carbs because you exacerbate so much energy.
Yeah.
You just need a lot of vitamins and shit like that. So
you got to be nourished.
Like I have to eat oatmeal every day probably.
Yeah. Or you'll definitely lose your gains.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to be in such a deficit in general.
And the thing with running is if you're not getting that nutrition, you're like, you can't walk. Like you're
You're
just so
dying.
sore.
Yeah.
You know, the soreness from like working out is manageable because it doesn't really affect like walking unless it's like leg day.
Mm-hmm.
But the soreness from like running will really, really get to you. Like it'll bog you down for your whole day.
Yeah, my calves have been pretty toasted today.
Yeah. The first time I went on a run, the next like 3 days, my lower back was.
Yeah.
I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
So.
Hell yeah.
So the maintenance of running is a lot more
It
rigorous.
does seem more, which is funny because it doesn't kind of look like that on the outside, but I think you're right.
But yeah, you have to take a lot more care and control of it. Like you got to do some rollers.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna get one of those rollers.
Things like that.
Get a little roller from Target.
But yeah, so there's all those factors that I have to accommodate for and prepare for. But I think it'd be fun, dude. I've never been a runner. Even when I played like
even
soccer.
When you played soccer?
Even when I played soccer, like I hated running.
You hated running?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess to be fair, most people hate running.
Mm-hmm. But I want to get that runner's high, dude. I hear about it so often. Sometimes I think it's a myth. Like, how does anybody enjoy this?
Oh, I definitely believe in it. I've heard that you got to get a little distance under your belt to really get to it, though.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I have a feeling like runner's high, but it's usually right after my run. When I'm like, my body's recovering, I'm like, oh, I feel great right now.
All the dopamine is
running
through.
And my heart rate's finally coming back down up from the stratosphere.
Yeah.
It feels great.
You're like,
dude.
there is a light at the end of this tunnel.
Yeah. And it's now. Ugh. Oh, yeah, dude. So, yeah. We've been out running a little bit. What else is going on in the world, dude? Do we have anything else we need to inform the people about in any meaningful way?
That's about it. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of that has happened is the takeoff news.
Yeah.
Oh, Elon Musk officially bought Twitter.
That's true.
Like officially, like it went through. He's there. Like he's the dude.
He's making all kinds of funny changes.
Did you hear what he did?
Which one?
When he walked into Twitter headquarters?
Yeah. I did. Tell the people.
He walked in with a sink. Just for the joke. Let that sink in.
Such a dumb joke. Not even funny. I didn't even chuckle when I heard it.
Elon is such a
loser.
Weird person.
Yeah.
He's
a dork.
Stereotypical rich dork.
Yeah. It's
like,
something like Bill Gates would have done.
He laid off a lot of the high execs already. He's probably implementing a lot of new things.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is back on Twitter.
Oh, he is?
He has some pretty interesting ideas on Twitter. And I think most of like the casual people or like just people like you and me probably think it's dumb. But I think the people who, have a lot of followers and a lot of influence, I think they like some of his implementations.
I saw that he was kicking around the idea of making it possible for Twitter users to monetize their videos. Yeah. So like you can have like pay per view videos and stuff, which is, it's basically taking a shot at OnlyFans, honestly.
He's gotten rid of a lot of the bots. I think he's scrubbed through a lot of the algorithm and gotten rid of people who aren't real people like bots.
Yeah, that was his big thing.
He is making it so that you can potentially like pay to get like a verified blue check mark to add some credibility.
Well, that already exists. He's talking about increasing the price though. And then creating a separate verification system to verify like public figures.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how it all works.
Yeah.
Cuz Elon Musk is like, no matter what he does, he's always kind of successful, or he has some pretty outlandish, crazy ideas that always seem to work. So on a platform like Twitter, like an open network of thoughts and ideas, it'll be interesting to see how he wants to change it up.
I think ultimately what's going to change the most is we're going to see more ads on Twitter because he's got $22 million he needs to recoup. And he's obviously he's focusing on ways to further monetize the platform.
It's crazy that like platforms like Instagram and like social media platforms are so focused and driven by monetization, which, I mean, we live in a capitalist world, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But from the beginning of its creation, it was never about making money.
Sure.
It was all about, getting people's thoughts and having a space for ideas to come and
it's expensive to run a platform like that though.
Yeah. But
I mean, Twitter didn't even turn a profit for like the first 10 years it existed because it cost so much to run. Or maybe longer, I forget.
But why does that happen?
Because it's too expensive to run.
I meant more so like why do the I don't know how to frame this question, but there's like a thought in my head of like how a platform that is just there for like thoughts and idea, like the creation of the platform was for people to share ideas. How does that turn into like we need to make money off of it?
Well, because it costs money to run the platform. Can't run anything like that without expenses, I mean, just the server space and like the amount of money you're spending for all the storage of all the content and the bandwidth to serve it to people. It all gets on a platform as large as any of the popular platforms. We're talking about like millions of dollars.
Does Reddit cost a lot?
Oh yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any open space forum or type thing like that where like it's not profitable.
Usually the way it goes is when a platform or website or anything really first starts, they do it with no ads because that's how you get everyone in there, and then they start monetizing.
So it's almost inevitable, huh?
I think so.
Yeah.
And if the thing is, I mean, it's not inevitable if they make money to support the platform some other way. The only other real way, if you're not serving ads, is to charge people for the service.
Fee,
yeah. And that's like, the fee would have to be so high that nobody's going to pay it. People would rather just deal with ads.
Yeah, ads or whatever. Do I see any ads on Twitter?
Oh, definitely. Especially if you're using the stock Twitter app. You don't even notice them, dude.
Yeah.
You don't even know their ads.
So good, dude.
You're just like, wow, that's just a tweet that is on my timeline. And it's saying I'll buy a laptop. You're like, when did I follow Apple? When did I follow Best Buy?
But that's pretty interesting. I want to say I'm excited. Change is always kind of exciting.
Change is exciting. I don't use Twitter, so I'm pretty indifferent about it. But it'll be interesting to see.
I think I just use Twitter for like the funny content.
Yeah.
I guess I do get a lot of like news stuff from Twitter though. I mean, that's like the fastest sourcing news.
Dude, I never go on Twitter for news.
People tweet things as it happens. Like when Sandy Hook was happening, there were so many tweets going on. When Takeoff died, there were so many tweets and speculation and videos that popped up, like what really happened. I guess it is pretty interesting to like get a reaction to the story as it's happening.
Bro, someone also told me the shooting was on video.
I saw this video and I pray to God that like it's not up in the public forum anymore, but there's this video of him like lying on the ground in a pool of his own blood, and they like try to pick him up and his head just went limp, and I was like, this cannot be on, like, we can't, people shouldn't be seeing this.
Yeah.
Like, it's just such a,
it's
so desensitized.
Yeah. Videos of dead people is never fun.
No.
Or just seeing it at all.
Yeah. People always talk about, like, the initial reaction is always like, you should take it down so that, like, the family members, like, out of respect for the family members.
Yeah.
It should be out of respect for, like, the person who died, too. Like,
I mean, they're not around anymore. But also, I don't know, is there maybe some value in people seeing the grotesque reality of when someone dies?
I don't know.
Especially dying in a like that kind of manner?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
It is a tough one. I don't think
you're wrong. Like, I think you're right. But like like showing that to like a person just for them to understand the grotesque, like that's a hard thing to do, you know, like if that was how it was supposed to be done, there's got to be a better way.
Yeah, there does have to be a better way. We just got to stop murdering people.
That's a tale as old as time.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Well, I don't I don't really know what else we have to bring to the people today, dude.
Oh, the people. Poor people.
Yeah. Sorry, people.
Sorry, people.
Sorry about
came
that,
in here
people.
so excited.
I mean, I'm still excited.
I am too. But here we are.
I'm never not excited.
Social commentary of murder.
Anyway, dude, ever seen that new House of Dragons?
Dude, there's murdering happening in House of Dragons too, bro. I can't get away from it.
Yeah, they show it to us on House of Dragons.
They showed us somebody getting their head sliced off.
Bro, you know, House of Dragons had 4 live birth sequences in it in the first fucking season. And like 3 of them were terrible, unliving, like
they didn't
babies.
survive.
Yeah. Boy, HBO really went in on that first season,
I
dude.
wonder how much they like. First and foremost, such a good job at like creating that.
Yeah.
Like it looked like an actual baby being born.
Yeah.
The prosthetics that they created and all the details that they
so
crazy.
Gross. But in a talented way.
Yeah. Like commend the art, but oh God.
Yeah.
Made me so uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, that's the goal. They did achieve their goal, certainly.
No.
So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. Have you heard that House of Dragons like totally shit on the Lord of the Rings show with like half the budget?
There's a Lord of the Rings show?
Yeah. Remember we were going to watch Lord of the Rings, the movies, so then we could start the show?
Oh, yeah.
Well, everybody is saying the show sucked, which is so unfortunate because I think Amazon put like billions.
Well, did they hire the right people to make it?
Probably not. I don't know. I mean, you throw $1 billion at something and you hope it works.
Well, that only works if you get good people to manage it.
But yeah, I'm just not hearing a lot of great things. It's called the Rings of Power, I think. So that's unfortunate. I remember.
Well, there's only one way for us to know.
Yeah, I remember seeing like a tweet or like a headline or reading something about how the CEO of like Amazon movies or whatever was like, this has to be good or else
we're out of business.
Or we're almost going to be out because they threw so much money on it.
Yeah.
And HBO made House of Dragons with essentially what I hear half the budget, and it's fucking phenomenal. So
damn. Half the budget? What the fuck are they budgeting in this Lord of the Rings show? Because the budget for House of Dragons is through the roof.
Yeah. I'm telling you, they threw like billions, which is crazy.
That's wild.
But they put all their eggs in that basket, and the basket kind of...
The basket had a hole in the bottom of it.
Caught on fire, dude.
We'll see. Maybe it's actually great. Who's saying it's bad? Normal people or Lord of the Rings fans? Because if it's normal people, I don't care about them.
Like I see YouTube video, like I watch a lot of like review videos on movies.
Yeah.
And like the really big reviewers are like, why Ring of Power failed or why Ring of Power wasn't all that it lived up to.
They're being babies. We'll find out. You guys give us about a month, and we will come back and let you know for sure, definitively, with the only correct opinion on if Rings of Power is good or not. And then once we know, we'll let you know, and we'll tell you.
I also think the story, like Lord of the Rings, has kind of died out in pop culture, which might be a factor.
Well, yeah, for sure.
There's definitely like a strong fan base, but it's not like...
Lord of the Rings is for nerds.
Yeah, it's not like the same gravity that, Game of Thrones had.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
that could also be a factor.
It is probably a factor. If that was the factor,
Amazon should have considered that and spent less than $1 billion on it. They could have thrown a couple $100 million and been okay.
Yeah, that's true. They could have... Yeah, that's true. We'll eventually.
We'll get there. When we get there, we'll all get there, you know?
Yeah. Once we're there, there's no turning back.
No.
Just like when, so many things in life are like that. It's one of those.
It's one of
those, dude.
It's the way of the road, you know?
That's the way the road goes. Mm-hmm. Do you know why a marathon is called a marathon?
Why?
Do you know the story?
Mm-mm.
Dude. So at some point in Rome,
Okay. Wow, like thousands of years
ancient
ago.
Rome.
Wow, okay.
I forget what happened, but something bad was happening. A war was breaking out. And they had to send a messenger from Athens to Marathon to warn them that war was breaking out.
Uh-huh.
And that messenger had to run 26 miles between Athens and Marathon, which is like, even back then probably was not a thing people did.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, they named it after that.
Wow. I almost thought you were going to be like, yeah, this guy in Rome, he ran 26 miles and his name was
Emperor Marathon.
Marathonius or something. And he was the only person to do it, so they called it a marathon.
Yeah, no one's done it since.
There's a place called Marathon. Does that place still exist?
Mm-hmm.
We should go to Marathon.
Let's go.
And run a marathon.
Let's do it. They probably have the biggest one.
We'll go to Marathon and we'll go to Athens, but not by driving or plane or car.
Yeah.
We'll do it by foot.
We're going to run there and then run a marathon while we're there.
Do you think they probably have the trail that he ran?
Yeah.
Like
I'm sure.
Let's do it.
I think it's just the road between Athens and Marathon now.
All right, dude. Well, that's when we run our marathon, it's going to be there. And that's going to happen in probably a couple years.
Yeah. I'm
not
down.
Yeah. I'm not like dying to run a marathon.
No. I'll run a marathon when I can.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to that.
Yeah. And if I can never do it, then I'll die.
Then I'll just run several 5Ks.
Yeah.
I could run a 5K today if I had to.
We could run, how many 5Ks is it? Like almost 10 5Ks, and we'll put it together. We'll have a
cumulative marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah. April, shut up, dude. I've pet you so much today already. You just have an unlimited need for pets today.
Yeah, April, fuck you.
It's like April knows when we're doing the podcast. She never wants pets like this.
She literally always she wants the attention. Man.
Yeah, she's an attention hog.
Yeah, I'm glad Ben hasn't been crying.
Yeah, that's true. Where is he?
He's in the living room.
Ben just disappeared on us, dude.
Maybe we should always have the podcast running so he stops crying.
Yeah. Shut up, April. All right. Anyway, I think that's it for this week, you guys. So we're gonna turn up the music here, and we're gonna call it a day. I just want to take a quick moment to thank all of our loyal listeners for continuing their support of this podcast. I know we've been gone for a couple of weeks now, and things were looking a little dark there for a moment. But don't you guys worry. We are back. We are better than we've ever been. April is doing the podcast with us now. And we're really ushering in a new dawn of a new era for the 6 Inch Kings podcast. Oh, April, you got anything you want to tell the people here at the end of the podcast?
Nope. All right, sick.
All right, thanks, April.
Words to live by.
Yeah, truly. Meditations by April. All right, thanks, guys. It's been a real one. We'll catch you next week. Don't do anything silly, and if you do, send us a picture of it.
All right, y'all.
Peace.